Hey, Dad, how are we going to pay for 3 trillion? But it was one of those questions. It wasn't like, how are we going to pay for 3 trillion? It was like, no, Dad, how are we going to pay? And I looked at her and I said, well, we're going to have to raise taxes. She goes, but Dad, what are you going to, there's not enough money if you raise taxes. So what happens? And I said, well, we don't know what happens. And she goes, but Dad, you're the guy. And I said, I'm not the guy. I have an idea, which is not a good idea about what will happen, which is bad. And she said, well, what can I do? And that's when I said, listen, we're going to get you a house, get you some gold. And I did. I got it a beach house. I mean, all these are designed for what I regard. It's not going to be apocalypse. It's just going to be not good.
Yeah.
And I want to hedge against not good. I expect that there's going to be global warming. And I expect that if I bought a house right on the beach, it's bad. So we bought the house, 5 houses in. Okay. That was the hedge against, yeah, it's Ocean Grove. It's nice. That was the hedge against what's going to happen. But that's an illiquid asset that has, I think, a residential risk, particularly if things get ugly, okay? Which I think is a perfectly reasonable. Before I wouldn't have said, I said, what are you, crazy? I mean, the march of progress. But progress stopped. And this is a very serious issue, that the 3 trillion. So I got to take action. And I'm going to take action after this video.
My favorite stats are for the last 6 fiscal years, the government has set a new record for federal tax income revenue, right? So we keep taking in more and more money, but the intra-year deficit gets bigger and bigger. So it's not an income problem, right? It's just, we just keep spending more and more and more and more. And people will debate, what should we spend on, what should we not? I don't care. All I know is that when you print that much money, I'll tell you where it comes from. They're going to steal the purchasing power of all the people holding cash.
Yeah, I told my daughter to read about Weimar, the Weimar Republic, read about what happened before the Third Reich, how they wiped out purchasing power, and then they wiped out savings. It was a 1-2 punch. Everyone was penniless. One of the big reasons why you had the tumultuous, and I'm not saying it's going to happen again, but you had the tumultuous things that happened in Germany had a lot to do with them printing money the way we printed. They were walking around with wheelbarrows. I hope that doesn't happen. But as a student of history, I'm ashamed that I have not acted on what is the first time that I've seen a Weimar-like situation in our country. And I believe in 2011 with I spoke to the Philadelphia Eagles when they had downgraded the debt. And I said, listen, you don't have to worry. We're the strongest country in the world, blah, blah, blah. Now it doesn't have to do with whether the strongest country in the world. What it has to do with is we can't pay. We just can't. So what do? Now you can go overseas. I mean, that's not my plan.
Yep.
Or you can hedge. And a hedge I've got the hedge on one side, but I don't have appreciation of hedge. And that's why I got to make this move, which is why I'm glad I talked with you, because for the most part, I'm a stock guy. I know that. I'm a gold guy. I'm a real estate guy because my wife. But I didn't have anyone to talk to. And the reason I didn't have anyone to talk to is because of what I call the Portnoy factor, which is that everybody's a speculator. And I'm thinking about 10 years because I'm thinking about my kids will not, the moment I make that move, my kids will not be able to touch this until 2030. Okay.
Of course.
So I'm certainly not trading. And I'm going to buy it in stages because I don't want to commit all one level. But, if you know you're not going to be able to touch something in 2030 and it's cash, well, believe me, that cash is not going to be worth what you think it is. And I'd like to think I'm a pro. I'd like to think that I have analyzed the situation. But the $3 trillion that we printed changed everything that I believe in. And now if you told me, honest to God, if you told me that I should be buying lakes in Maine, because I would do it. I mean, I am so concerned. I'm not frightened. I'm not scared, but I'm concerned that I'm not being prudent. And I now think that Bitcoin is prudent.